I want to ask.
That's the biggest
how much
pushback
water,
I get.
How
too.
much water does each one use a year? Do you know in the acre feet?
So I don't know the exact, but they did recently change within the last couple of years to secondary irrigation.
I don't care.
But
how much water are they using? I really want to know this.
Yeah. And
how could I find out how much water
this is the other thing.
Public golf courses?
We can find out. But guess the other thing with the water on that, because this is another thing that bothers me about those profit loss statements, is they don't calculate the cost of water, because the cost of water is being paid for by us in our utility bills.
Ladies and gentlemen, if that's not enough for you to go to the city council meeting next time, I don't know what else is.
It makes me want to go to Sunbrook and just walk in and start playing golf.
For free.
Yeah.
For free, because I'm already paying for it.
So when I talk about this, though, I get a lot of upset residents because
we're gonna get hate mail.
Because they say, yeah, but I can golf so much cheaper. And if you sell that to a private, they're going to jack up the price. And then I'm not going to be able to afford to golf anymore. And, you get that. But it's like, but when you go back to
don't have to
go back to the basics.
Listen, though. But this is the crazy thing, is they're going from we own 4 to, okay, could we just own 1
Amen.
and do 1 really good?
I know.
And then just say, if you don't live here, you can't play on this course.
Yeah.
So one of the
I don't understand.
Michelle, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think one of the proposals that I
gosh,
think
I'm
went
yelling.
over well was increasing the cost of golf for non-St. George City residents.
Yes, and so that's what they've done right now is they increased.
I don't want your money.
non-resident
I want my
fees,
water.
But
I don't want their money. I
Yeah.
want water.
Yeah. And so the argument to that right there is, yeah, but if you sell it, they're just going to take away all of that green open space and make track homes. And
We don't have to do track homes. We already have 4 parks. We have 4 natural preserved parks that we could give back to nature. And for a couple of them, oh my gosh, can you imagine an electric bike park? An electric bike park. You replace all the grass with just rocks. You could do rocks, and we could just take crappy soil that we dig out of the ground and that we go put in another place,
right?
And then truck in other dirt to make houses for. How about we just take that dirt and maybe use it a little bit along the way and create electric bike parks, and then you could go kind of do like a go-kart track for electric bikes. You could do a race. You could do races
as
on
long
that
as it's
property.
the private sector doing it. Go ahead.
And it's a silent. No one will hear. It's not like the freaking motorcycles. You could do an electric bike park in one of those, and I bet you'd be profitable.
Yeah.
I bet you could turn a tournament and electric. Just like the Snake Hollow, right? Like they have the BMX park out there. You just do one now. It's bigger because you have all this extra land. Doesn't mean you have to turn it into houses.
Yeah. No, I know. And the city can sell it with a stipulation of
you can't turn
it has to be
houses.
this, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's different options. And so that's been something I've also been passionate about. Why don't we explore these options? But I get shut down. I mean, it's just not going to happen until we get a new council. I mean, just to be blunt.
So November 7th.
Yeah, exactly.
November 7th, 3 city council seats are open.
3 open.
Okay. And do you know anyone who is currently already said that they're running?
So I'm trying to think if any of them have 100% said. So I hesitate to say names because I just don't know if you get a lot of buzz before, but then who actually is going to show up and put their application in?
Yeah. June 1st through the 7th. You got to show up and put your application in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It'll be passed. So by the time this airs, it'll be past the 7th of June because it'll probably be June 20th. This will air. So happy Father's Day to your husband.
Oh, yeah. Happy Father's Day to you guys.
I got 3 little boys. So
awesome.
It'll be fun. Hopefully I get socks. It's tomorrow. Hopefully I get socks. Danielle Larkin had already told me that she was going to run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I've heard that
running.
the 3 incumbents are planning on running is my general understanding.
So Greg MacArthur probably will run.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's the other seat?
Jimmy Hughes.
Okay.
Yep.
So
and then I've heard buzz
you
of
and Natalie are over here
several
like,
others.
hey, have fun.
I know. Natalie and I are, I'm glad to not be campaigning for sure. Not that it's not that I really did anything different. Like I am who I am, but you do have to, you have to show up to events. And not that I don't show up to events anyway, but.
And then you also have to say, hey, I still have a platform.
Yeah.
I still have this. I'm still doing these things for the constituents, right? Like it's a similar. Truthfully, I don't think you should be you should be barred from giving your endorsement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would you give somebody an endorsement?
I would. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would be, and that's why I'm like hesitating what names to say. Because I don't know 100% if they're going to actually show up and put in the application, even though they've expressed interest. But also, out of respect, I want to make sure that like they want me to give my public endorsement, because depending on the voter, that could help or hurt them. Because, you know,
see, but now we're playing the game though. Now we're playing the game of I'm gonna show up one way one day and another way another day, right?
But it's out of respect for them. Like,
true.
I have no issue
I can speculate on people all the time. Jeff Watkins, I think you should run for city council.
Do it.
I think you should run, bro.
This is my public announcement that I will 100% not be running for city council.
Well, I hope that
so let's speculate for me. Speculate if you, because it's going to be past it. So whether they did or not, just say, okay, I hope, because this will not be aired until then. Say, I hope this person runs.
Do you know Paula Smith?
Paula Smith, realtor. Yep.
Yeah.
I do. I know of her.
I like Paula.
I like Paula.
Yeah. So she's one I've heard. Some of the other names I don't know even well
I have no
enough.
idea Paula's politics. So if you're...
From conversations I've had with her, I like her politics.
Mm-hmm.
I think she would be great.
Okay.
Yeah. Eros. Do you know Eros?
Eros? Nope. Jeff, do you know Eros?
I do not, other than Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he would be good.
Okay.
I've heard Greg Aldred is running again. I can say his name because everybody knows Greg. Do you know Greg Aldred? He's run several times before.
That's right. Yeah. Now I'm like trying to remember. I totally remember. I know the name, but I don't know the face.
Yeah.
I heard Steve Kemp.
Steve Kemp. I was just going to say, yep. I've heard Steve Kemp. I've heard Brad Bennett.
Adam Heaton. Is it Adam Heaton?
I've heard
Jeff?
Austin.
Matt Heaton.
Matt Heaton. He ran last time, but then he pulled out.
I don't know what the circumstances.
I don't know the circumstance either.
So what I want to do is, once we get the candidates all signed up, after the primaries, I want to interview all the candidates that are running, like the narrowing it down.
Mm-hmm.
So the primaries in August, everybody.
Yeah.
So after the primaries, I want to interview all of them too, because I want to give them an opportunity to give a platform. Be like, hey, this is what I'm running on.
Which I think is awesome. Like they need to be able to do that. Did I say Brad? Brad Bennett?
Brad Bennett. Yep.
I've heard he's thinking about it anyway.
Yep. Okay. Well, sounds like
we'll see who actually shows up, because I said, like, I don't know if these guys are going to or not. Like, I've heard other names too. And yeah, once they officially make it, I'm happy to give endorsements. So I don't want you to think that I'm not okay with giving endorsements.
So I got to ask though about, let's go back to water.
Yeah.
We always have talks about the water, but do you think our plan is sufficient? Is the plan that we have in play sufficient?
So water's been one of those things that when I came in, right, because there's a lot of fear in this area of,
there's a lot of fear
we have enough water,
of this area.
Right?
I'm at like 6 weeks running. Somebody that doesn't live here texting me about water, like
for our area.
The ABC. Hey, did you see this article? Right, for our area, like the ABC article that ran, and there was, I think something went. I got a good friend, Brian Hiltz. Shout out to Brian Hiltz. I love you, bro. He's a poop engineer, right? So he works for waste management facilities all over the country, right? Huge company. And we were brought up in their poop treatment conference, Southern Utah, out of the drought. And St. George was specifically pointed out in these conferences, and it's a deal. It's a deal.
It is. And
we're in a battle.
Yeah.
There was an article on ABC National News about climate change that had about a paragraph and a half about St. George specifically.
Which is insane, because all of the stuff I've heard too, like the John Oliver hit piece.
I saw the John Oliver.
I lost my mind, dude. I'm like, you didn't even share valuable information.
It was a hit piece that was totally
and his makeup looked horrible in the video too, because it was during COVID, and it was like he was doing it out of his house.
Yes.
And his makeup was all jacked up. I'm like, oh, dude, this is the worst episode I've ever seen. And last week tonight, I actually kind of liked that show. There was a lot of good stuff that I've heard him say, and he gives a good valid like other opinion.
Right.
After COVID, I can't watch him anymore.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I never really watched him before, but I did.
But
see that piece,
that was a horrible hit piece.
Come on, dude. I mean, I get what he's trying to do, but it's not helpful.
He wasn't giving helpful information.
Right. So I do think it's something that we absolutely need Warner Valley Reservoir. We need
which we have.
Wash.
It's already there, right? Like
no, it's not. We're battling the federal government.
So we need Uncle Sam.
We need the BLM is who's holding it up right now. It's our local BLM actually that's holding it up right now.
It isn't Uncle Sam. It's the local BLM.
The local. I mean, of course, the federal ties into that as well, but that's where we're having the biggest issues right now is just getting that red tape down. And we need it. We need Warner Valley Reservoir. If we had Warner Valley Reservoir right now.
What's the holdup so far?
That is the red tape with the federal government.
But when you say red tape,
they're trying to do a three-way land trade, essentially. And so
three-way, everybody.
Michelle Tanner said three-way.
Three-way headlines. I can see him tomorrow.
I'm going to quote that out of context.
Oh my gosh!
I mean,
it's going to be in the trib.
Used to that.
That's the only way I'm getting quoted in the trib, Jeff. There's no way they were going to put my quote in that trib article, dude. There's no way.
Just say something about drag queens and you'll be in the trib because they love drag queens, the Tribune. I'm convinced that the writers over there like closet drag queens because they love it so much.
Oh my gosh.
There's 15 plus articles on me alone and a lot of it, and it all has to do with drag. And a lot of, I mean, it's defamation. It's bad anyway from the Tribune.
You're fed up with it. You're fed up with it. You're like, listen.
So fed up with the garbage.
We need a news article, a news outlet that people have access to. The 435 podcast is going to deliver for everybody, I promise.
Oh, I sure hope so. I think you guys will do awesome.